Greetings. This is Charles Darwin. It's not usually that I like to sit here and read from my own books, but I just can't resist this time. In 1859, I wrote The Origin of Species, in which I speculated that much light would be thrown on man and his origins. Then I didn't say much about it. My friend Thomas Henry Huxley wrote a book about human origins and comparing us to the apes. Finally, in 1871, I broke my silence on the subject, and I wrote The Descent of Man. And I would like to read to you a little bit from it. First, in Chapter 1, I presented examples of many anatomical similarities between humans, apes, and monkeys, showing that every organ in one was also found in the other. Later in the chapter, I talked about rudimentary organs, and that humans have rudimentary organs that in earlier species had a function. I didn't say much about physiology, because after all, not much was known about physiology at the time. DNA? Enzymes? The way nerves worked? Well, we didn't know anything about that back during my lifetime, but now we do. Nevertheless, what I was able to do in The Descent of Man was to talk about physiological responses that humans and apes make to, for example, various chemicals, and show that there was a great deal of similarity there. Even though we didn't understand how those responses worked, we understood what they were. And I talked about that in Chapter 1. And one of the examples that I gave was regarding humans and monkeys. Medicines produced the same effect on them as on us. Many kinds of monkeys have a strong taste for tea, coffee, and spirituous liquors. They will also, as I have myself seen, smoke tobacco with pleasure. I've quit. Bram asserts that the natives of northeastern Africa catch the wild baboons by exposing vessels with strong beer, by which they, referring to the baboons, are made drunk. He has seen some of these animals which he kept in confinement in the state, and he gives a laughable account of their behavior and strange grimaces. On the following morning, they were very cross and dismal. They held their aching heads with both hands and wore a most pitiable expression. When beer or wine was offered them, they turned away with disgust, but relished the juice of lemons. An American monkey, after getting drunk on brandy, would never touch it again, and thus was wiser than many men. These trifling facts prove how similar the nerves of taste must be in monkeys and man, and how similarly their whole nervous system is affected. Well, that's a very funny piece of writing, but it proves a point. And that is that much of the behavior and the similarity of the nervous responses of humans and monkeys shows that there is a common origin. I thought you might enjoy that. This is Charles Darwin. Tally-ho, and amen. I won't.